The silence you feel is not the absence of a storm. It is the sound of heaven's gavel falling. For too long, you've endured battles that should have annihilated you, a weight of sorrow so heavy it made you question if dawn would ever break again. But the universe has just heard a divine decree. It is finished. This isn't just a soothing word of comfort to calm your nerves. This is a final, unappealable verdict echoing across all dimensions of your life. The war you were fighting in the dark has been closed. The tears you shed have been collected, sanctified, and redeemed. The season of relentless drain on your soul has officially expired. This moment is not the end of your journey, but the absolute end of suffering's right to narrate it. From trial to triumph, the end of the test when God steps in and says, "Well done," it's not just a casual pat on the back. It is a powerful declaration of authority and closure. It signifies that the arduous, soul-stretching test has concluded. The trial by fire you went through has been judged, and your quiet, relentless endurance has been registered in the highest courts. You didn't merely withstand the enormous pressure. You performed a profound alchemy, transforming beneath it. The storm didn't just pass you by. You absorbed its energy and became the very force that brought it to a halt. Every single battle you faced was a necessary, rigorous training ground for the authority you are now stepping into. The divine interruption and awakening to understand this deep truth. You were never being punished. You were always being prepared. Every scar on your soul is not a mark of damage, but a signature of your divine promotion. Heaven has intervened to declare that the old contract you had with pain and turmoil has been definitively canceled. The very forces of darkness that plotted your downfall and expected your total collapse must now stand by and watch in powerless agony as you rise untouched and untouchable by the very weapons that once cut you to the core. This is not just a fresh start. It is a divine reset. The victory written in light. Take a moment to simply pause, breathe deeply, and feel the powerful stillness that is now beginning to envelop you. This is not the hollow sensation of emptiness. This is the tangible, thrilling arrival of your freedom. It is a signed, sealed, and delivered peace accord from God Himself. The battle you were certain was still raging with such ferocity, the one that kept you on edge, actually ended long before you even knew it. While you were still fighting in the confusion and noise of the dark, heaven had already penned the undeniable reality of your victory in brilliant light. The choreography of Chaos Watt felt like absolute chaos. A period of unrelenting, meaningless struggle was in reality a magnificent divine choreography. Every instance of heartbreaking loss, every bewildering delay, every moment you screamed, "Why, God?" into the void, was nothing less than strategic, precise divine positioning. You weren't losing any ground in those moments. You were being meticulously moved, piece by piece, into the very center of your ordained destiny. Every single sleepless, tear-soaked night you survived was diligently logged in heaven's archives as unshakable proof that you resolutely refused to fold under pressure. Louder than fear, the power of peace. You kept praying even when your voice cracked and trembled from exhaustion. You continued to worship even when the silence around you felt like the ultimate betrayal. And you courageously kept putting one foot in front of the other, even when the solid road completely vanished beneath you. That resilience is the force that utterly broke the entire system designed and built specifically to break you. The pivotal truth is that your battle didn't conclude when the external noise finally stopped. It ended the very moment your faith became irrevocably louder than your fear. Weaponized stillness, the aftermath. Enemy did not beat a retreat because its arsenal ran dry of weapons. It fled because you became completely unpredictable. You ceased feeding the perpetual war with your panic and instead began to fuel your spirit with an unshakable, chosen peace. And let me tell you, chosen one, this deliberate inner peace is a weapon that is far sharper, more incisive, and more powerful than any physical blade forged by man or demon. Spiritual warfare does not always culminate in a cataclysmic, deafening thunderclap. Often, it simply ends in a profound, powerful silence. The cleared battlefield, that profound quietness you feel settling over your spirit right now, is not a mere absence of things. It is the sacred aftermath. It is the very sound of heaven's meticulous cleanup crew clearing away the wreckage and debris that you were never, ever meant to carry. You've been puzzled, wondering, why does everything feel so strange lately? Why is there such an intense, almost unsettling calm? The answer is simple and seismic. The battlefield has already been entirely cleared. Standing in abandoned territory, you are now standing, with your feet firmly planted, on the very territory the enemy had to abandon in a hurried, devastating retreat. You won, and you didn't even realize the moment of victory. The very last punch thrown by the dark forces was nothing more than a desperate, fleeting illusion, a mirage cunningly designed to make you waste your precious energy, swinging wildly at ghosts. But then, heaven whispered, "Enough." The gavel of justice fell. The definitive verdict was immediately finalized, and the agonizing sentence of suffering was eternally revoked. The generational firebreak of every single curse, every malicious word that attempted to attach itself to your name, and your destiny has been absolutely deleted from heaven's eternal record. The crushing, generational weight that once pursued your family line met its absolute, final limit at you. The bloodline battles that recycled and tormented your ancestors for decades completely ran out of fuel because you utterly refused to repeat the patterns that broke others. You became the divine interruption, the impenetrable, sovereign firewall in your lineage. A higher altitude of being same demons that once cackled and celebrated your painful falls are now collectively mourning your powerful, unexpected awakening. They can no longer recognize you because you have decisively stopped vibrating at the same frequency of fear they are accustomed to. They have lost your spiritual coordinates. You have ascended into a significantly higher spiritual altitude, where their pathetic weapons cannot even take a breath, let alone function, while a part of your mind still nervously checks for warfare, waiting for the predictable next hit. That very expectation is nothing more than the ghost of an old, finished season. Crossing into sovereign air, this undeniable truth clearly. You are no longer residing in survival mode. You have crossed the definitive line and stepped fully into your sovereignty. This is no longer a life of weary defense. This is the glorious, commanding life of dominion. The very battles that once left you shaking and in fear now collectively tremble. Just at the quiet mention of your name, what the enemy so maliciously intended to be your burial ground ultimately became the place of your spectacular birth and powerful refining. The fire that illuminates you were meticulously refined in a furnace so intensely hot that countless others failed to survive it. This is precisely why you now carry a palpable, holy fire that does not burn or consume others. It illuminates and clarifies. The final, decisive battle has already taken place. You are simply walking through the glorious, quiet aftermath of your own complete and total victory. You were crowned in silence, authorized in secret, and anointed in obscurity. God did not announce your massive breakthrough with a lot of noise and fanfare. He sealed it, finally and permanently, with an unshakable peace. Evidence of endurance when heaven brings along grueling war to a close. It does not feel the need to offer any lengthy explanation to the enemy or to doubters. Therefore, you must stop frantically looking for proof of your freedom in the residual pain. The irrefutable evidence is standing right in your endurance. You are standing tall in a place where countless others fell. You are breathing deeply where others completely gave up. And you are smiling where others were tragically buried. This is not a coincidence. This is a covenant, rewriting the meaning of the past. When God declares, "No more pain," He doesn't go back and delete the historical facts of your past experiences. Instead, He does something far more profound and powerful. He completely rewrites their ultimate meaning. The difficult memories will certainly remain, but their destructive power, their leverage over your present and future, irrevocably dissolves. The spiritual fire you bravely walked through did not destroy you. It utterly destroyed what was actively destroying you. The revelation in the Flamesti fire systematically burned away the false identities, the illusions of weakness, and the toxic attachments that were slowly but surely poisoning your soul. You didn't tragically lose yourself in those intense flames. You found yourself there, because flames possess a strange, divine way of revealing the one, true, core essence that simply cannot be burned. The real you, the profound, divine essence God placed inside you before the very foundation of the world walked out of that fire completely, gloriously untouchable. The intimidating piece. This is precisely why people who knew you before no longer fully recognize you now. You may physically look the same, but your internal energy is utterly unexplainable. You now carry a type of visceral, intimidating peace that actively disturbs and confronts chaos. You radiate a powerful light that aggressively disorients every shadow that once felt comfortable lurking around you. The powerful healing that follows the fire is not soft or passive. It is a sacred, spiritual surgery on the deepest levels of your being. The wisdom of redirection reached into the deepest, most hidden layers of your spirit and surgically extracted every single toxic seed that pain had maliciously planted. You were convinced you were being utterly broken, but in the unseen realm, you were being meticulously rebuilt. Every betrayal became a profound lesson in discernment. Every rejection was a clear, divine redirection. Every agonizing delay was a powerful, disguised layer of spiritual protection. From why me to thank you, I learned a critical truth. Not every hand that you reached out to and held could safely contain your enormous destiny. You recognized that not every devastating loss was a punishment. Some were necessary, life-saving divine interventions. You wisely stopped chasing endless, complex explanations and started simply trusting the quiet process of elevation. You stopped the soul-crushing habit of asking, "Why me?" and began to declare, from a place of gratitude, "Thank you for choosing me." The invisible to the 100th new level of healing is radically different. It is not merely emotional. It is deeply, spiritually legal and authoritative. You no longer feel the need to frantically prove your inherent worth, to beg for simple understanding, or to explain the origins of your profound peace. You have been through far too much to ever willingly lower your powerful frequency again. You have become invisible to what once hunted you, and completely immune to what once severely infected you. The power of quiet confidence-held souls, chosen one, are the most dangerous to the enemy because they are inherently uncontrollable. You move now with a quiet, undeniable confidence and authority. You are not cold. You are profoundly clear. You are not hard. You are intensely holy. The peace you consciously carry is not a mere display of calmness. It is the absolute, irrefutable silence of a conquest. It is the stillness of one who already possesses the full knowledge of how their story definitively ends. Prophecy of promotion. Glorious revelation that will truly shift your perspective on everything is this. When God finally closed your case in the eternal courtroom, He did not simply set you free, He promoted you. What was once painful, agonizing evidence of your suffering has now become the irrefutable evidence of your divine sovereignty. The very trials that completely broke the spirits of others became your own profound, rigorous training for command and rulership. The verdict is final, complete, and unappealable. You are not simply in recovery. You are in reign.